and welcome to the show. This is episode 11, I guess. If the last one was episode 10, that would make complete sense. Seen a whole bunch of movies and series recently. There's been some really good ones, some really not so good ones, and I just want to get straight into it. So let's go, starting off with, of course, Snow White. This is the Disney live action remake of the classic Disney cartoon. I guess I'll read the synopsis on IMDb just because maybe some people don't know what Snow White is. A princess joins forces with 7 dwarves and a group of rebels to liberate her kingdom from her cruel stepmother, the evil queen. That's a very nice synopsis. It's also about a queen who wants to be the fairest of them all, wants to be the most beautiful, but because she's aging, obviously a younger, more beautiful, and more fair Snow White becomes the fairest of them all, and the queen hates her, sort of puts her to sleep, then a prince has to come and kiss her, and she has to wake up. All the classic fairy tale sort of Disney stuff. What did I think of this movie? I thought this film was just awful, just bad, boring, unnecessary. Like I was in the cinema like sweating. I was getting so sort of agitatedly bored by it. I have to say I loved Rachel Zegler in West Side Story. I thought she was absolutely phenomenal in that. But in this, her acting is a little bit stagey. Her acting's a little bit musical theatre. I'm on a stage. I'm looking out into the distance all the time. I'm really emoting so the people in the back can see. She's doing that a lot. She's doing too much with her face. She's just doing a bit too much for my liking. Gal Gadot was just. I'm sorry, but like the evil stepmother was one of the most, I guess, charismatic in the cartoon. One of the most charismatic characters in the cartoon. And in this, she's very one note, just very. Just not having much facial expression at all. Unfortunately, she's so just two bad central performances. I'm sorry to say, which is a shame because I love both of those girls in both of their like other respective films in their career, like West Side Story, Wonder Woman. Those two films are awesome. I love them. But yeah, this was not it. I'm serious. Like, watch Rachel Zegler like doing everything with her face all the time, just so face. It's like, relax. You're not on stage. This is a movie. Like the camera's right there. It can see the tiny, minute differences. Just chill, relax. The CGI dwarves look out of place. It's that kind of uncanny valley thing, whatever it's called, where it's just like, this is not a real thing I'm looking at anymore. Because obviously they're completely CGI. And a bit like The Lion King, I guess, where these animals are talking and singing, and the animals look so realistic that the talking and singing looks bizarre and weird. The CGI dwarves just look a bit bizarre and weird because of almost how realistic they look. Because they're so close to looking like really realistic, but just not quite. It adds a sense of like even more weird than if it was just like blatantly CGI, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that makes any sense, but just because it's so close, it just looks so weird. It's so strange, and I know that they were kind of doing it, I guess, for political reasons. Because why should little people, as they like to be called, why should little people always have to be playing dwarves, which are sort of a magical stereotype on little people? So it's like offensive to hire a little person to play that role. I get that. I understand that. But also, there's not that many roles for little people, like specifically for them, that other people wouldn't necessarily be able to play unless you Peter Jackson it like Lord of the Rings. Like, they don't. It's not like there's an abundance of work in Hollywood for little people. And then here comes a movie with the most famous dwarves of all time, and it's like, no, we're not going to hire little people for that. That's a shame, right? Is it a shame? I don't know. Is it politically correct? Maybe, but you're taking away jobs, which is a bit annoying. Like, let them work. It's a bit like, for example, if I was going to go up for a film and my heritage is Bolivia, and they're like, well, the main character in this is Peruvian, and we think it's politically incorrect to hire a Bolivian to pay a Peruvian. It's like, oh, come on, like, there's only so much work that's offered to people who look like Latin American. Just do Latin American, let us all do that. And your politically correctness is being annoying because it's being so specific. You're taking away jobs from people who already don't get as many jobs as lovely white people do. And I love white people, they're lovely, but they get lots and lots of jobs. So these sort of more niche roles, can you open it up to like all of the people sort of can you open that community up a bit? So yeah, I feel like that a little bit with this. This film was trying to be very politically correct. I remember seeing that in the news a lot, and I was like, okay, maybe some things can be updated. That's absolutely fine. I don't mind if stories get updated. But in this, like, she's still asleep, and a hero has to come and kiss her. Like, that still happens in a movie. Like, isn't that the bit that everyone was like, that's really dodgy? Like, that still happens. There's still like wealth disparity in this film, like loads of wealth disparity. Like, even though the evil stepmother is ruling over the kingdom and is rich and everybody's hungry, like, Snow White's parents were also rich and they lived in a castle, and there was massive wealth disparity between them, the parents, and all the peasants. It's not like all the peasants were allowed in to the castle to sleep and live there. No, like, there was still wealth disparity. Like, it didn't seem to change that much. It's just they just had a stronger army, I guess. So yeah, like, even the news was going around as if this was some super politically correct movie. I watched it and I was like, well, doesn't seem too politically correct to me. But yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. Like, it seems like they still have the weird bits in there that aren't politically correct. I will say one thing. I'd like to end on a good note for my review of Snow White, which is the songs aren't bad. The songs, like, Rachel Ziegler sings very, very well. Just don't look at her emoting, but she sings incredibly well. The classic dwarf song is just so catchy. It's such an earworm. I've still got it in my ear right now. Hi ho, it's off to work we go. And, just a great song. And it's catchy. I have to say, those musical bits, they kept my attention. They grabbed my attention. They kept it. And yeah, I think overall this film was absolutely terrible. The songs could not save this film. The singing, the wonderful, beautiful singing could not save this film. This film was embarrassingly bad. I wonder what you thought. So next, I'm going to be doing a review of a tiny little Netflix film, technically, called The Electric State. So The Electric State is the new Chris Pratt movie, starring Chris Pratt, and it is about an orphaned teen hits the road with a mysterious robot to find her long-lost brother, teaming up with a smuggler and his wisecracking sidekick. Classic. It's also obviously starring the wonderful Millie Bobby Brown, Woody Harrelson, and a bunch of other actors. So this is a Netflix film. Came out a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And it was more fun than I expected. It was just a cheesy, fun sort of adventure, road trip kind of let's go and save the world, robots, apocalypse type of film. Just cool, just fun. I watched it at home and I was sitting on my sofa, made some popcorn, and I just thought, this is great, this is fine, this is just, cookie cutter, fine blockbuster type of movie that for some reason was released on Netflix at home. Was it Netflix, or was it, maybe it wasn't even Netflix? Was it released on Amazon or something? I don't know. It was released somewhere online, and I watched it. Chris Pratt, of course, plays Chris Pratt. He basically plays the same character as he does as Star-Lord in the Marvel films, and he's just the exact same. He's kind of harmless, cute, sort of PG, you know, supposed to be a bad boy, but in that kind of PG way where he's not a bad boy, it's always a nice boy. And he's just Chris Pratt, like he just plays Chris Pratt. He's got kind of one note, this actor, but it's very charming, it's affable, it's laughable, and it's just you do enjoy watching that character, I have to say. And then I will say some of the CGI could have been better, because some of it was very bad, very, very, very bad. But you know, if I saw it at the cinema, it might have looked better, or it might have stood out as even worse. I don't know. But on my TV, in my bedroom, I was like, ugh. But apart from that, not too bad. I don't know how well this film did. I don't even know how they track that on streaming. But I will say this: Millie Bobby Brown, she was good in it, absolutely serviceable. She's just she's not picking the right projects since Stranger Things. Now, Stranger Things is great. I can't wait for the next season, which is coming out this year, I believe. And she's awesome in that. But she keeps picking these huge sort of blockbuster films like Godzilla or Electric State. And it's like, you need to do like an indie film or something. I don't know. You need to dial it down a bit, because her Alona Holmes film, that Godzilla, and yeah, I'm just not sure. Damsel, that was it. Damsel also just, ugh. You need to do some cool sort of rom-com or some indie drama or something. She could be as big as Zendaya, and be on that level where the Academy are starting to look, where you're producing these very interesting sort of Academy darling films, like that tennis film. Um, Working with these wonderful directors, she could do that. She's a really great actress, but she's just choosing giant sort of monster movies all the time. And I guess in Stranger Things she has to fight monsters, but does she have to fight monsters in Damsel, and monsters in Electric State, and monsters in Godzilla? And I guess Alona Holmes was all right, but again, it just didn't feel like she's picking the right stuff since Stranger Things. I hope she goes and has a really successful career, because I really think she's really, really great. But hopefully hopefully this is like the last monster film she does, and I don't know. Next thing you know, she'll be in the new Jurassic Park film. Just closing this door. Hope you don't mind. Let me know in the comments below if you mind me closing that door. So yeah, I medium recommend this film. If you want just sort of mindless sort of fun, watch this film. It's kind of mindless fun. You're not gonna get anything more than what you expect, or anything less than what you expect. It's Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown, and robots, and that's it really. Much better than films like Borderlands from last year, but this is this will do. This will basically do. So next, I'm going to be talking about a series, and this series is, of course, called Severance. So, Severance is a series that ended its second season a few weeks ago. I'm going to read the synopsis on IMDb, but you know what the synopsises are like on IMDb. Mark leads a team of office workers whose memories have been surgically divided between their work and personal lives. When a mysterious colleague appears outside of work, it begins a journey to discover the truth about their jobs. I mean, that's really the synopsis about the first season, I guess. But the second season takes off right where the last season left us at. It was amazing. This series is just so So good. I highly recommend this series. The characters are interesting. The development is interesting. The acting is fantastic. The writing, the dialogue, it's all good. It fits each character's the real characters. They've really built these characters up, and they've got these journeys. And then of course you've just got the main conceit of it, which is like almost like a philosophical debate about what constitutes as a separate person, like it's just crazy. Like it's insane. Like if just because you can't remember something, does that mean that person's you or not? Like I've been thinking about this a lot. This whole thing about splitting your mind, going into a room, not remembering what happened outside of that room, only remembering the room, and then leaving the room and not remembering what happened inside the room and only the outside of the room. And it's like, does that person have as many rights as you? Like, I'll have dreams, right? And that will be my consciousness experiencing a whole world. And then I'll wake up and not remember that at all. And in a sense, I feel like I do kind of have more rights than my dream consciousness had. Or do I? I don't know. It's so interesting. It's such a fun, interesting sort of philosophical debate you get to have throughout the whole thing. And I just find it so enjoyable to be in a world with this huge philosophical debate right in the center of it. The last episode, I'm going to try not give any spoilers. If I do give spoilers, I'll say spoiler alert. But in the last episode, it was so, so, so good. What's his name? The actor who plays... Okay, I'm going to find his name. Milchek. Tramel Tillman. He is on another level. He's so good at acting, and it's just the way he stands up to his boss when he needs to, with the phrase, okay, I guess this is a spoiler alert, with the phrase devour feculence. Like, has there been a better written line in a series? Devour feculence. It's so good. His character is so well developed and so interesting. I really hope he breaks good, if you know what I mean. I hope he just becomes on the good team, because he's one of the most interesting people there are on this series. There are some less interesting characters. I will say I'm a little bit uninterested in the Christopher Walken and John Turturro storyline. I was really excited when John Turturro came out and he had all that research on all the painting, and I was like, okay, is he in the army? Is he a spy? Has he been sent there by anyone? But they kind of just followed this gay story, and a nice little gay love story, I guess. But in the end, nothing special about that story. In my opinion, Patricia Arquette, who plays Cobell, great character, great acting. And then you've got Zach Cherry playing Dylan. Another one, like, really interesting. Is it cheating if your wife comes and meets your innie? It's still you, but it just doesn't have your memories. Is that cheating? I guess it is. I guess they are their own person. I don't know. Heliar with the little fringe. My little sister has a very similar fringe to her. And my little sister told me, so Heliar is really, really great in this. Now moving on to a different thing. My little sister told me a really funny theory that Rickon, who is Mark, who's the lead character, Mark's, I guess, brother-in-law, told me that Rickon might be a goat. Which is like, oh, okay, so there's a goat. And then they, I guess, somehow, what's it called? Sever the memory and put the memory of the goat into... I don't know, but apparently he's a goat. But I find that quite funny. Could be a goat. Adam Scott. We've got to talk about Adam Scott. He's so good in this series. They build up the series to, okay, more spoilers, I guess, to a part where he's able to talk to himself via sort of video. He's in one room where he's got the memories of this room, and he can record himself. Then he can step outside, watch the recording as his other self, and then respond to it. And he has this whole conversation, and there's very just slight differences in character. And I'm like, this is great acting. It's not over the top, but you can tell these are two different people, really. And they have a really interesting debate about it. And one of the best lines in the whole show, which is delivered by Heliar, Britt Lauer, which is, did you think that just because you gave us half a life that we wouldn't fight for it? Damn, that's such good writing. Now, the second season wasn't perfect, though. There was some problems I have with it. But I loved it. I will say I loved it. I recommend it. I thought it was a worthy second season. The first season was a little bit better, and I'm going to tell you why. So, Severance, in the second season, I mean, in the first season you're told this, but in the second season they really sort of bring up the idea of reintegrating the memories, so you become one person and remember it all. And Adam Scott's character Mark wants to do it, and he starts having the operation. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of Chekhov's gun. If you introduce a gun in Act 1, someone needs to shoot that gun by Act 3. That's like the rules of storytelling. And yeah, I have to say, they introduced him having this operation, so his mind is going to be integrated again. And they don't ever get there. They never properly get to that bit. It's just little flashes. I've got a headache. Oh, am I going to die? I got a nosebleed or whatever. But he never gets there. And it's like, you make a promise and you don't deliver, or you're just trying to keep us waiting until the next season. But it's just like, that's really annoying. And I have a theory. They were writing it and they were like, yes, this is great. This is what we want to do. We want to have him integrated so he can remember everything again. And then as they got towards the last episode, they thought, oh, what would be awesome is if Adam Scott's character, Mark, can have this conversation with himself. That amazing scene, which was wonderful, right? Obviously, he can't do that scene if his memory has been integrated. They can't do that scene because he will just remember everything. He'll just be one person again. So it's almost as if they're writing, and they're like, he's going to get his mind integrated, blah, 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 blah. We're going to go through the whole story. And then they came up with the idea of this, oh wait, he can talk to himself with the video camera. So they kind of just stopped the mind integration bit, I guess. And we're like, okay, I guess let's pause on the mind integration so we can still have this awesome scene at the end. Because if they carried on in the direction that they were promising, we wouldn't even be able to have that scene at the end. If that makes any sense, I think that makes perfect sense. So that's my theory. And it's a bit annoying because it's like, I guess technically you should have had the him talking to himself with a video camera scene before he started having operations to get his mind integrated. But I don't feel like they developed this story that way. They didn't write it that way. And it's just annoying because they've stretched out one bit that I really want to see. I want to see him remember everything. And they kind of promise it. They're there, ready. He's had the operation. They have a whole scene where it's like, is it going to happen? And he wakes up on the table. And it's like, no, it never really happens. It's just little flashes. And I found that a tiny bit annoying. So that brings it down just a little bit for me. A little bit. But apart from that, the series is awesome. The series is fucking great. I recommend this series, guys. Watch this series if it's the last thing you do. Right, I'm going to move on to the next review, which was a movie I saw at the cinema called Novocaine. Novocaine is the new Jack Quaid movie, starring Jack Quaid. And it is a film about when the girl of his dreams is kidnapped. A man incapable of feeling physical pain turns his rare condition into an unexpected advantage in the fight to rescue her. So it's about this guy who has this condition where he can't feel pain. And it's a really fun little action film, I have to say. It's just you think you go in there expecting a type of film, and you kind of get that type of film, but they delve really deep into his condition, And it when you really do have somebody who's incapable of feeling pain, that adds loads of barriers to the storyline, loads of barriers to his life that color and dress the storyline in really fun, ridiculous, funny ways. Like loads of hijinks is happening in this film. It's just a fun little film. And as you're watching it, you're like, this is great. This is just a fun action film. There's all these little things that you don't even think about. So if you're incapable of feeling pain, apparently it means you might accidentally bite your tongue off while you're eating. So this poor guy has to blend all of his food. He hasn't had solid foods, I guess, for most of his life because he's worried he's going to bite off his tongue and eat his own tongue without realizing, which is just insane. Little things like that. Like he's got to have a timer that tells him when to go to the toilet because he doesn't feel the discomfort of having a full bladder, and he could just carry on, I guess, living his life, drinking until his bladder explodes. So he's got to remind himself to go to the bathroom, which is insane. Like all these little things that you never thought about. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if nothing could hurt me? But it's like, no, it's not that nothing can hurt you. It's that you can't feel the hurt, but you are still getting hurt. Like his bones are breaking, like everything. He's not invincible at all. He is being damaged. He just can't feel it. And that's really bad. And it makes you think, wow, I guess even though pain sucks, it's so important because it protects us. It saves us from damaging ourselves too much, which is why putting your hand on a burning stove hurts a lot because you'll take your hand off. So yeah, but I am interested in the rules of that because they do something in this film which I think is not consistent. So this is my little plot hole, I guess. Maybe I'm being picky, but I just wanted to mention this. So he starts dating this girl that works with him at the bank, and they go out, and he has to have blended food, of course. And she's eating some kind of pie, I think, or a cake or something. And she's like, try some. And he's like, I can't. And she's like, please try some. He explains why he can't, but she's like, you got to try it. It's pie. So he tries it, and he's like, oh my God, this is delicious. So he can taste. He's got taste buds, right? He can taste pleasure. I guess his sense pleasures work, right? He can taste it, and it's delicious, and that feels nice, I guess, to him, or at least tastes nice. But what is taste nice if not a feeling, So that happens. Anyway, move on to another scene. The girl that he's dating is talking to a guy at a bar who's a bit of a dickhead. He's not very nice. Used to bully our poor Jack Quaid at school because he couldn't feel pain. And she orders some shots. So her, this dickhead, and Jack Quaid all do these shots. And Jack Quaid is like, what is this? I don't know what this is. But the girl, has secretly put like habanero spicy pepper sauce in these shots, right? And so they all do the shots. She doesn't really do one. The dickhead does it and starts basically choking because it's boiling hot. And Jack Quaid does it and is like, what? What's wrong? As if he just couldn't possibly taste anything. So do you see where I'm going with this? This whole scene is there to be like, look, him not being able to feel pain has really put this dickhead in his place. But the scene before was a scene specifically about how the mouth is sensitive to tastes and flavors because he's eating a pie. And now the next scene, they use that exact same thing to sort of get revenge on this bully boy. And it's like, well, he should be able to. We just had a whole scene explaining that his taste buds work and are sensitive, and he's sensitive to different flavors. He does a shot of habanero or Tabasco sauce or whatever that, sure, he might not be hurt from that, but he would still drink that and be like, this tastes fucking disgusting. Like, what is this some kind of okay, how do you explain sort of habanero Tabasco sauce without using spice? Some kind of peppery, salty, kind of maybe tomatoey juice that you've given me. I mean, maybe that would taste nice. I don't know, but yeah, like yeah, I would really love to have like a spice eliminator in my mouth where I can just try what does Tabasco sauce taste like if I just drink it. But yeah, but that was a little inconsistency for me, and it was annoying that it was like two scenes really close to each other. It was like, well, make up your mind then about the rules of what the body can feel and can't feel. But apart from that, the film, that was so nitpicky of me. I'm sorry, and that was such a weird tangent to go on. But the film is awesome. The film is really good. Watch the film. Jack Quaid is just on a roll because he was in Companion earlier on this year, which I thought great little fun sci-fi film. This another fun sort of action film, and then obviously he's in The Boys, which is one of the best shows on TV, and yeah, he's just on a roll. I really, really, really like him. He's got that nice face, nice smile. You're like, I could just get on with this human. He just seems absolutely lovely. So yeah, I do recommend this film. If you get a chance, go find it, watch it, put it on, look at it with your eyes, and tell me what you thought of it, because I'd love to bloody know. Next, I'm going to be doing a review of a series which finished literally 2 nights ago. And this is, of course, The White Lotus. So, The White Lotus is a series starring... who's the most famous person in this season? I guess it's Sam Rockwell. And it is basically about this hotel. So every single season is set in a different location. First season was Hawaii, second season was Italy, third season is Thailand, and it's usually 90% brand new characters all arrive. This is a very high level resort, so it's obviously most of the time very, very rich people that have arrived, and it's just about complicated relationships between people. It's about damaged men very often. And it's sort of usually is showing you how, I guess it's kind of showing you how money definitely does not solve all your problems, because all these rich people end up having very fucked up lives. And it's not like a horror or anything, it's just these social commentaries about relationships and about money and about what it means to be good and what it means to have your own morals and ethics in this world. And yeah, it's just really, really interesting. In this season, we got Jason Isaacs in there. We've got Leslie Bibb, Walton Goggins, who I just love. Obviously, just love her to bits. Michelle Monaghan, just Patrick Schwarzenegger. Loads. One of the best things about White Lotus is the casts that it pulls in. Now, I will say season 3 was a little bit slower than season 1 and 2. I thought season 2 was probably my favourite. That was really, really, really exciting to watch. Really fun, great acting the whole way through. This has great acting the whole way through as well. I just feel like maybe some of the storylines, some of the development of these storylines wasn't... they didn't unfold as much as the previous season. So yeah, this season's a little bit slower, but with some massive high points, like some big high points of the whole series in general. I would say the two brothers, they were the most fucked up story out of all of them, because they're just these... There's going to be spoilers, okay? I'm sorry, I'm just going to say some spoilers. It's not like that this is a twists and turns type of show, although there is an odd twist at the end, but it's not a real kind of twists and turns type of show. So my spoilers aren't going to spoil that much, I guess. It's just about the nature of these damaged men. So you've got the older brother, who is all about business, all about looking good and being a man, sunglasses on, all about, just sort of living the life to the full, getting these girls. And then you've got the younger brother, who's very, very sweet, very, very kind. and just sort of trying to find his way about what he, to him it means to be a man, and he doesn't know whether to follow his sister's footsteps or his brother's footsteps a bit more, just be himself. And anyway, their storyline leads them down this insane fucking I guess trail where they're like getting drunk with these girls, and then the two brothers are like getting a bit sexual with each other, wanking each other off and stuff. Yeah, like literally jerking each other off, and you're like, this is fucking crazy. Like, this is what I love White Lotus for, because it makes you just put your head on your hands on your head and go, what the fuck am I watching? How did we get here? That to me is where White Lotus is at its like best. Like, it's taken these normal characters who are definitely damaged and put them on this trajectory where you're like, it can't possibly go this far, and it does. It goes that far and even further, and it's just like, that was fucked up. I very much enjoyed watching. I was squirming at it sometimes, being like, this is so awkward. And yeah, just very, very interesting. Jason Isaac, the dad storyline, I would say was the least interesting, if I'm honest with you, because we find out his plan and his problem very quickly, which is just his business has just basically gone down, and he's going to be arrested, and all their money's going to go after this holiday. And he wants to basically just commit suicide and maybe kill his family as well in the meantime. But it doesn't really ever develop from that. The whole show, from basically episode 1 to the last episode, episode 8, you're like, he's just like, I'm so stressed about this, I just want to kill myself. It doesn't develop much past that, apart from in the very last episode where he kind of just changes his mind. And you're just like, that could have developed. That could have been a jumping off point to take his character into some wacky, crazy circumstances. But yeah, like I say, they just didn't really do it. It just sort of lingered on that part of his story, and it was the same every single episode, really, for him, unfortunately. The three girls, the girlfriends, again, very, very fun to watch them. It's a different kind of dynamic, because finally we've got some girls, some people in the show that can't really afford to be there, and it's their friend taking them there. So different sort of level of, I guess, status, which is fun to watch and interesting, and just seeing the dynamics of friends, especially girls' relationships, and the way they kind of backhanded compliments to each other and are sincere but very insincere at the same time. Just yeah, they're very interesting. I would just say that Carrie Coon, her performance is so good. Her speech in the last episode is so good. She is definitely an MVP of this season. She is so great. But then, of course, the other MVP of the season is Sam Rockwell, who is this, I would say, a bit more than a cameo. He comes in sort of 3/4 of the way through for 2 episodes, basically, and just steals the show, just chews the scenery, and it's just like so good. His fucking monologue where he's sitting down just talking about his life, and as he talks it gets more and more weird, and he's talking about fucking himself, wanting to be an Asian girl, getting fucked by him, and just like this is crazy, and like so believable watching Sam Rockwell deliver that. You're like, I believe you, man. Like, I don't think you're joking here. This is a believable thing. And Walton Goggins' sort of just face throughout the whole thing, just great. Sam Rockwell, Carrie Coon, MVPs. Walton Goggins was amazing. Everyone's saying that he's making receding hairlines look sexy, which is cool. Maybe I'll have a receding hairline soon. So that's good that that's coming into fashion. And yeah, just I can't wait for the White Lotus. I guess they'll change locations again. Who knows where they'll go? Maybe Dubai, maybe somewhere in that area, maybe maybe South America somewhere. Let's get one in sort of a Spanish speaking country, maybe. But yeah, who knows? Really, really good. Maybe they'll go somewhere cold. Is there the White Lotus in cold areas, Switzerland? But yeah, just a great, great show. I have a feeling it's going to be my top 10 shows of the year. So interesting. The atmosphere that the White Lotus creates is so off kilter, and I just love that. It's just a little bit left of center stage, if you know what I mean. It's just off. There's something just off about it. And I think I'm predisposed to like that because my mum made me watch the Moomins a lot as a kid. And as far as cartoons go, the Moomins is just a bit strange, a little bit left of center stage, just a little bit, just yeah, odd, peculiar, bizarre feeling, weird mood, strange vibe. That's the White Lotus as well. Just a weird vibe, strange vibe, and it just unfolds and gets weirder and weirder and weirder. Especially the two brothers storyline, the most fucked up. I would say the Sam Rockwell with the Walton Goggins storyline, very, very interesting to watch, very fun. There is this ridiculous twist at the end where it's basically Star Wars. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. It's basically Star Wars, which makes no sense because it's so at the end of the series and nothing happens because of it, where Walton Goggins shout, "He killed my father," and then another lady shouts, "He was your father!" And that's it. Like, oh, well, there was no hint of that anywhere. That doesn't really change too much. And it was just like, that was a strange twist. Where the hell did that come from? And I guess we'll never know because of the big shootout at the end, and you just will move on to different characters in the next season. So it was just this bizarre twist, which was like, you did not need to do that. That was weird. That was strange. But it is what it is, and I would say I probably like this one. Yeah, I think I like sorry, I like season 2 the best, season 1 the second best, and then season 3 the third best. But all seasons are fucking great. In general, this is a fucking great show. Highly recommend it. And let me know what you thought of the show. If you've seen it, let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, smash that bell, smash something. Go around, smash something. I love you so much. And I'll see you again for the next episode. Bye.